Hello YouTube, and welcome back again to another review here for the Horror Globe. Yeah, I know it's been a while, but I figured I want to keep this channel active. And what better way to kick it off again with a very, very special and just one of the best documentaries I have seen off of this Day of the Dead Blu-ray Collector's Edition brought to us over by the Facts over at Scream Factory. It's a new documentary made especially for this, World's End, The Legacy of Day of the Dead. Now this is great. I mean, it basically reunites George A. Romero, Laurie Cadelli, even these two zombie extras where they're the first ones to get wrangled and brought into the this room where he's going to do these experiments. One thing I forgot to mention about my Day of the Dead, on my Day of the Dead review, which I have on my channel, Falagar517. I forgot to mention that it has brilliant gore effects in Day of the Dead, and absolutely brilliant practical gore effects. Just some of the best I've seen, and I know for Andrew Balina, it's his number one. He did a fantastic video about the top 10. His top 10 favorite gory horror films, and this took number one, and so rightfully so. Okay, but yeah, getting back to this documentary. Yeah, so it has those two zombies in there. Of course, Tom Savini, Laurie Cadelli, John Amplas, and the one who played Frankenstein is no longer with us. I think he passed away in 2000, so it's very, very sad. And just a bunch of other people. They talk about how they did some of the effects, a lot of animatronics. You also talked about with the musical score, for the film, how it has this Caribbean type vibe to it, which I absolutely love. I don't know why some folks, when they saw the screening of this for the first time, they didn't really dig the soundtrack so much. But I loved it. I absolutely love that soundtrack, and I would love to get the soundtrack, and that's something I could listen to. You hear it. It's something that you would probably hear when you go on vacation or something, in the Caribbeans or in Hawaii, and you're hearing it in this, and it just blends so well. And not just because we have a Jamaican guy in here, just the overall feel of it, just absolutely perfect. We kind of take a look at the caves, a little bit. There's actually a separate documentary where it's about a 7-minute documentary where they kind of go into the cave a little bit, and that's kind of cool to watch. But I mean, the real heart and soul of the special features on this Blu-ray is that main featurette, which it runs about as long as the actual film itself. So that alone is worth the price of admission. This documentary is so vast, so grand, that even if it wasn't included on this Blu-ray and it was a separate release, kind of like the one with Troll 2, and you have the Best Worst Movie documentary, how that's kind of separate. Even if this was sold separate from this release, that's one that I would actually go out there and actually buy. I would buy the Blu-ray of World's End, The Legacy of Day of the Dead separate if it was not included on this. That's how fantastic this was. And George A. Romero even mentioned that, I believe it was Day of the Dead. That's his number one favorite one to make, and his favorite, I believe, in the series, followed by Survival of the Dead. And the thing is, back during its time when it was released, a lot of folks, didn't really get the film. They thought it was too dark, too serious, and they were confusing it with another release that came out about the same time, Return of the Living Dead, which that had more of like a comedic kind of vibe to it. This one was more darker. Now here's the thing that I don't quite get. They said that Dawn of the Dead had more comical elements, but I found it just as serious as this. This also had some humor in it as well, just like Dawn of the Dead. Like I said, that's why they go very well together and on par, and just pretty equal in the humor department. So I don't understand what the audience was looking for. Like Roger Ebert saying it was just like a gore fest, no real good characters to love. And when when all the reviews came out, all the the actors, George A. Romero himself, they were just kind of like disappointed and very sad. And who's that guy? Joe Pilato. He said there was even a part where he just felt like to cry, basically, when the reviews came in. and then Tom Savini, he wanted to play Rhodes, you know, but you know, I guess he didn't, for whatever reason. George A. Romero just wanted him for the special effects, and the character or the actor who played Steele actually went in there for the reading to do. He wanted Rhodes's part, you know, but it turned out that they wanted to get Joe Pilato because he's kind of like the I forgot the analogy they used. I guess kind of like the Caesar, where he's kind of not really all that big, but he's just got this prick attitude, and he's the one that's barking all these orders to people. And you have the actor who's playing Steele, be kind of like his right hand man. Okay, so it kind of worked out, you know, better that way. Oh, and then the guy who played Miguel, he's in there as for this retrospect. Just absolutely fantastic. Go ahead and check out the back. You know, there's a death scene in here where one of the characters gets his head kind of slowly ripped off, you know, and you know, while they're eating all his guts and everything, and as his head is coming off, he's screaming, and you hear his voice go and I can't emulate it, but it goes into this high pitch volume, and it was absolutely fantastic. Loved it, and I was cracking up at a lot of these death scenes while I was eating my glazed ham off the bone. You know, it was just like, you know, cut up the ham, and then, you know, the parts that was hard to get to, I just took the bone of the ham, you know, the center bone, and just ate around it. So as I'm eating it while I was watching Day of the Dead, my brother's like, "How can you eat that while you're watching this?" And I'm like eating it. It's kind of like I'm like almost like I'm emulating what they're doing, but, you know, not on purpose. But anyways, yeah. And what's funny is Tom Savini, one of those death scenes, the gore effects, he was not pleased with. And I forgot what it was. I think he was mentioning something about there was too many zombie hands trying to, you know, covering up, you know, the effects too much. There was just too many zombie hands going on, and it was kind of required in order to get, you know, the mouth moving, because the head, as it was coming off, it was just like this animatronic head with a, you know, like a puppet mouth or something, or like a robotic mouth, and he had to, you know, kind of do something to you know, to keep it moving. But something he didn't realize was the high pitched volume of the voice of his vocals going up and up as the head was separating from its body. He did not recognize that until years later, and I recognized that right off the bat when I was a child, and I absolutely loved it. And I thought that was just the natural effect of things, because as he's, you know, his head's coming off and his vocals are, you know, getting, you know, fucking wrecked essentially, your voice would, you know, kind of distort in that manner. So I found that absolutely fantastic. And there's another death scene where one of Rhodes's men, he has his eyeball, like, it's popped out, you know, as they're kind of ripping into his flesh from the top. And, you know, I saw how the effects were done there. It was already exposed. He just, you know, of course, put this latex and all the, you know, the blood and stuff inside, and put the fake skin over it, and the eye was already popped. So just, you know, fantastic. A lot of animatronic effects. One with the shovel going into the mouth of the zombie. This was happening in the caves, and you know, separating the top portion from here of the head off of the lower jaw, and the eyes are still blinking, you know, when the head's upside down, and the eyes, you know, not really blinking. It's like looking around, you know, because it's an animatronic, and it was just, you know, fantastic. This has a really nice blend of action as well, you know, I have to tell you. And I forgot to mention this in the Day of the Dead review, so I hope you folks that have watched my Day of the Dead review come over here and check this out too. You know, things I forgot to mention. The action was fantastic. I found absolutely fantastic. You know, it had a perfect blend, a perfect mix, I thought, of, you know, tension, drama, a little bit of comedy thrown in, and action, you know. And Laura Cadelli, you know, who played Sarah, she was magnificent. She was just like another Sarah Connor, you know, with the, you know, it just looked so right, having a you know, a machine gun and a pistol in her hands, you know, just absolutely fantastic. Miguel being the you know, the kind of character who was just always just he's always under stress, hasn't slept in like 24 hours, you know, and he kind of talked about that in the documentary about his type of character. So yeah, great. So there's another scene with you know, with the guts, you know, for, you know, how they did the effects for it, you know, where in the medical lab, in Frankenstein's lab, when one of the zombies kind of breaks free and he gets up and all the guts come out, and it was all like pig guts. And there's even they talk about the part where they would keep reusing the guts, and they would keep it in the fridge, and someone had apparently like either unplugged the fridge, so they were gone for like the whole week on vacation, or maybe just like the weekend. And when they came back, all the guts were like rotten and spoiled, but they still reused it for that final scene for minor spoiler, but Captain Rhodes's death scene, when they opened him up and ripped out all his guts, and it was all rotten. And when he screamed and had to inhale it all, he said all the smells came right into his face, into his mouth, and he just felt sick. And even all the zombie actors were getting disgusted by it. And they're zombies, but they're plain zombies. And there was no shortage of zombies either. There was like literally like hundreds and hundreds of people wanting to play zombies. Drama students, drama teachers, everyone. Fantastic. And an opening shot of that zombie when you see him walking in Day of the Dead, before the titles come up, with the tongue, they call him the tongue zombie. It was all, puppet work, of course, which I just thought, as a child, I was wondering how they did that. And then I knew that it was a puppet thing because I owned the DVD, Divimax edition of Day of the Dead, and there was some kind of documentary behind there. So that's how I knew that was a puppet. And then the two zombies that you see coming out of this building, going down the stairs with this alligator or crocodile, were actually the two crocodile wranglers just dressed up as zombies. So fantastic stuff. So yeah, I do highly recommend that you folks do pick up Day of the Dead, not only for the fantastic film itself, but also it's like you're getting a 2-for-1 deal here, man, because with the new documentary, World's End, The Legacy of Day of the Dead, I mean, you just cannot go wrong. That alone is worth the price of admission. The film alone is worth the price of admission. And when you have them both, combined in this fucking fantastic Blu-ray collection, it's a no-brainer. You have to buy this one. Alrighty, so there we go. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this documentary review. It's really the first, or did I review? Okay, this is the second documentary that I reviewed, because I did review the best worst movie for Troll 2, and I reviewed the best worst movie separate, I believe. Yeah, or did I combine it as one? Yeah, so I don't often do documentaries. This is just the second one, so hopefully I did a little bit better this time. Okay, so there we go. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you again, Treypasser Paul, for making me win that contest, drawing my name out there, and sending this to me. Thank you guys for watching, and farewell. Oh, and by the way, the link, I'm going to leave it down in the script below, my review for Day of the Dead on my channel, okay? And be sure to check out everyone involved in the Globe. Like I said, we got Simon Says Movies, Lola's Basement, TJ Pyramid, Aaron Pynn, Night of the Creepy Monster Squad, Joe's House of Horrors, PsychoTronicbrdcst, Killer Nerd 75, Todd E, Walnuts, FilmGame Junkies, and of course, last but not least, Falagar517, and that is me. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, and that was in no particular order. I just tried to change things up, give everyone equal rights. Thank you guys for watching, and farewell.